My boyfriend refuses to buy me pads, and now I'm upset. I am a 25-year-old female, and my boyfriend is 28. We've been dating for over 3 years. Yesterday, we had a conversation through text about him going to the supermarket to get pasta because we were having people over and I was gonna cook. Mind you, he gets out of work before me, and the supermarket is 3 minutes away from home. Everything was fine until I got my period right after I was about to leave my job and go home. So I texted him to please grab some pads for me, and his answer was, "I'm not doing that." Then I said, "I'm going home. They are on the personal hygiene aisle. I need them." His answer was, "So go get them." And I replied, "Aren't you going to the store?" He said, "Yeah." So I replied, "I'm telling you to please get it for me." And his answer was, I said, "I'm not doing that, but you keep asking." And I ended the conversation by saying, "Okay, thanks." Then he said that we shouldn't have people over tonight, which made me more upset. I ended up getting them myself, while having pain and a bunch of toilet paper wrapped around my panties to not make a mess. I always say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. If he feels uncomfortable, he could have said, "I'm sorry, but that makes me uncomfortable, so I won't be able to do so," and I could see it with a different perspective. However, he is 28, and I think it's a very immature thing to be embarrassed about. Please help with an advice. Comments. I had been with my boyfriend for 6 months when I asked him to please buy some tampons for me on his way to my apartment. He called 20 minutes later in a panic saying, "Why are there so many? What can be so different? And why are they so expensive? Did you know they were that expensive? I'm gonna FaceTime so you can tell me what flavor you need." 6 years later, and he proudly tells people he knows what brand I need when we talk about him buying them for me, which he often do since he shops more than me. Another comment says, someone who's not adult enough to buy something as trivial as pads or tampons isn't adult enough to be in a relationship. Another comment says, if you ever have children or have any medical issues, that is how is he going to act. He's not going to run to grab pads or diapers after you give birth. He's not going to take care of you if you're sick. If you don't want that to be your future, break up. Trust people when they show you who they are.
My girlfriend asked me my social security number so she can run a background check on me. I am a 27-year-old male. I have been in a relationship with my 31 years girlfriend for almost a year now. This evening, she sat me down and said she needs to have a serious conversation with me, and she asked for my social security number. I said, absolutely not. Why would you need that? And she told me about her ex-boyfriend that was basically living a double life. He had a bunch of criminal charges in his past that he'd never told her about, and eventually exposed her to some sketchy and dangerous behavior before she broke things off after he cheated. I said, okay, thank you for telling me that, but what does that have to do with my social security number? She said ever since then, she's had her friend that works for the federal government run background checks on people to make sure they're safe. And because our relationship is progressing, she needs to know I'm a safe partner for her. So she wants my social security number to check my criminal history. Now for the record, I don't even have a parking ticket. I'm a nerd and a gym rat. All I do is work, go to school, play Dungeons and Dragons, come home, watch anime, rinse and repeat. So I don't care about a background check. She won't find anything. But I'm not giving out my social security number. I don't feel comfortable enough providing that to her friend. When I said that, she got upset and said, I don't understand what women go through and it's about safety. And I admitted she's right. I have no idea what women go through. But that doesn't mean I'm giving my SSN out to a complete stranger. She called me insensitive and hasn't spoken to me since. Personally, I feel like she was gaslighting me into giving her what she wants, but I'm not sure. Comments. You don't even know if she's telling you the truth. She should be stealing your social security number for all you know. Run away. Clearly, she isn't willing to address her trust issues. She needs therapy. Assuming everyone is a criminal and you need proof otherwise is incredibly toxic. Another comment says, another female here, seconding run. So I'm assuming she wanted to open credit cards or take out a personal loan in his name. Or just because this is Reddit, taking out a life insurance where she is the sole beneficiary, and in a few months you have accident. Run. Run fast and run far. As he has been smart about not giving personal info out like this, he probably didn't give her your password so she can't access anything electronic. But she could try and steal his mail to get this info if you get things via snail mail. He needs to lock down his credit immediately. Lock his letterbox just in case. Even if it is innocent, the idea that a 31-year-old woman claims she doesn't understand why he wouldn't give her this info screams scam. Then tried emotional blackmail. Big nope. If she thought he was unsafe, why stay with him for almost a year? No. Nothing good can possibly come out of this. Block her everywhere. Another comment says, tell her your last girlfriend was a scam artist who stole your identity and now you never give out your social security number to protect yourself. I am being furious with my pregnant wife over a prank. I am a 31-year-old male. I've been with my wife Lisa since college, and she's currently 7 months pregnant with our first baby. My wife Lisa is witty and likes to play jokes on me. For example, she likes to pass off fake facts and stories as real and see if I'll believe them. Lisa was a theater kid, and so she's great at acting and selling these stories. I used to fall for her pranks all the time since I'm gullible and she's so convincing. However, now that I've been with her for so many years, I can typically tell when she's messing with me. She's upped the antics over the years, and so she can occasionally get me to believe one of her jokes. Today, when I got home from work, Lisa had tears in her eyes and told me she needed to talk to me about something. I was seriously worried and sat down with her immediately. I asked what was wrong several times and she kept saying it was hard to talk about and she was terrified I'd leave her. I kept pressing and she told me she had an affair with her boss several months ago and wasn't sure if the baby was mine. I asked if she was serious and she said she was 100% serious and started crying even harder. I got up, started pacing, and tried to gather my thoughts. After a few minutes, Lisa bursted into laughter and said she was just joking. I was furious. I said it wasn't funny in the slightest to make jokes about cheating and the child not being mine. Lisa then said she was a bit offended that I believed that specific prank and not several others. She said she couldn't believe I actually thought she'd cheat on me. She then got teary and asked why I didn't trust her. I asked why I would trust her after she pulled that prank on me, managed to cry telling me about it, and continued with the prank even though I was viably upset. Lisa said it was harmless, and I was blowing things way out of proportion. She continued to ask why I didn't trust her, and I told her I needed some space. I ended up going to a speakeasy and have been away from the house ever since, even though Lisa has called several times. I know it was a prank, but I think this joke went way too far, especially with the tears. I also was clearly upset, as anyone would be, and she should have stopped it as soon as she realized I was actually falling for it. Usually Lisa's jokes are funny, but this one really got to me for some reason. Comments. The worst part about this to me isn't even the prank. It's after the prank she sees you are upset, and instead of apologizing, she blames you for believing her, and begin to question you. Also, just remember she can make herself cry, so don't let tears fool you anymore. Another comment says, if she's my family, I am not gonna trust her anymore. Even her tears would disgust me from now on. Another comment says, ask her for a DNA test because she might have told the truth.
I said yes to my boyfriend's public proposal and then turned him down in private. So I am a 26-year-old female, and my boyfriend is 28. I have been dating for about 3 years. Things have been good, but I've been clear that I'm not ready for marriage just yet. I've told him I need more time to feel comfortable with such a big step. Well, a few weeks ago, we went to a big party hosted by his family for his dad's 60th. I noticed that he was acting a little nervous but didn't think much of it. Then, During the event, he got everyone's attention, got down on one knee, and proposed to me in front of all his friends and family. I was completely caught off guard and panicked. Now, I've heard stories about how rejecting someone in public can humiliate them, and I really didn't want to do that to him, especially in front of everyone he cares about. So, I said yes in the moment. Everyone cheered, and he looked so happy. I felt horrible for misleading him, but I didn't know what else to do. After the party, on the car ride home, I told him privately and explained that while I love him, I'm not ready to get married yet, and that I only said yes to avoid embarrassing him in front of everyone. I thought being honest in private was the best thing to do. He got really upset and said I'd humiliated him even more because now he has to go back and tell everyone that we're not actually engaged. He said I should have just said no at the party if that's how I felt. I feel terrible that I've hurt him and put him in this position, but I also feel like he put me on the spot in front of everyone without considering my feelings. We've yet to tell his family or anyone, and they keep calling and texting to give their congrats, which is upsetting him even more. And I'm seeing videos his friends posted online of him getting on one knee, so it's pretty public now. Should I have just said no in public, or was I right to spare him the embarrassment in the moment? Comments. He asked you publicly when you'd been clear that you're not ready for marriage yet. You were nice by not embarrassing him. Another comment says, little known fact, you can get engaged and spend years without getting married. And another comment says, also he hijacked his father's birthday and made it about him and you. Not cool.